Hi and welcome to yet another Daydream District live stream. In this live stream, I'm going to do a pre-launch comparison between the Oculus Go and the Lenovo Mirage Solo, the two standalone headsets that are going to come out very soon. Coming up. Yeah, hi and welcome here at the Daydream District. My name is Sebastian Ang, and if this is your first time here and you would like to stay up to date about anything Daydream VR, then subscribe now and click the bell button so you don't miss anything. Yeah, welcome to this live stream in which I'm going to give you a comparison, a pre-launch comparison between the Oculus Go and the Lenovo Mirage Solo. This year is going to be the year of the standalone headsets, and the standalone headset war is going to start soon between the Oculus Go from Oculus obviously and the Lenovo Mirage Solo from Lenovo, but with Daydream software on it. So it's going to be Oculus versus Google. Now let's start with this comparison and let me show you the two devices, and let me then tell you what they have in common. Let's talk about the price, let's talk about the differences, and in the very end I'm going to give you my conclusion where everything is going to go with these two devices. So let me share my screen with you now and let me show you the two devices. So let me check if you can see what I see. Yes, okay, good. All right, so this here is the Oculus Go. Very nice headset. Have a look at it. You can find it on oculus.com/go if you want to have a look yourself. So this is the Oculus Go from Oculus, and this is going to compete with this here, the Mirage Solo with Daydream. I have to scroll up a bit here to show it to you. So here it is on the left side. So I think the website is not as good as the one from Oculus, but it's not about comparing websites. So also a beautiful headset. Here you can see it. So this is the Lenovo Mirage Solo. So let me tell you what these headsets have in common. What does it mean, standalone headset? Now, a standalone headset means that these headsets do not need a computer. So they are not tethered to a computer, like for example the Windows mixed reality headsets or the Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive. They do not need a computer. This is definitely an advantage. Also, they do not need a phone. So it's not like it's smartphone VR. They do not need a phone. Like for example, the Gear VR, you needed to have the Gear VR and you needed to have one of the recent Samsung Galaxy phones. Or with the Daydream, until now, you needed the Daydream View headset and one of the Daydream ready phones. Now these phones were quite expensive, so I had to pay $1,000 for my Pixel, which I still think it's so expensive. So with these standalone devices, with both these standalone devices, the Oculus Go and the Lenovo Mirage Solo, you do not need a phone. They stand alone. You only need this device and you can go into VR. That definitely is awesome, and that's the way it's going to go in the future. So that's definitely where we're going to. Everything is going to be standalone in the future. Probably in the very far future, just going to be the contact lenses, as you know. That's going to be very exciting, and yeah, this is in the future. But now this is the first step. 2018 is going to be the battlefield for those standalone headsets. And yeah, this is going to be really exciting. So this is what they have in common. They are both standalone headsets. They both don't need to be tethered to a computer. You don't need a gaming PC. You don't need any PC. You don't need a great phone. And yeah, that might be interesting for all the iPhone users who were thinking like, oh no, I cannot use Gear VR. I cannot use Daydream. Now, if you buy one of these two standalone devices, you don't need to give up your iPhone, but you can still delve into VR. So this is good. This is definitely a good thing about standalone headsets. So this is what they have in common. Now let's talk about the first big thing, which is a big difference here for the Oculus Go and for the Mirage Solo. Okay, and this first big difference is the price. So the Oculus Go is going to cost $199. What an incredible price. Wow. Mark Zuckerberg, you really pushed it there, and this is incredible. This is going to push VR forwards for sure. Lots of people are going to pick one up just because it's so cheap. Arriving early 2018, and yeah, here starting at $199. What an incredible price. It's still fantastic. If you think now you don't need to have a Samsung Galaxy device anymore, you don't need to have a Daydream phone anymore, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. And of course, you also don't need a gaming PC. So for $199, you're going to get this device, the Oculus Go, and yeah, you can delve into VR with it. I'm going to tell you a bit later in this live stream what you can do and what you cannot do, but still, $199, incredible price. Now let's talk about the price of the Mirage Solo. Google has announced this device is going to cost under $400. So that could mean $150, could mean $250, but as we all know, it is going to mean $399, or probably, if they change their mind, probably it's going to be $379 probably, but it's going to be around, let's say, $399 for this pre-launch comparison. We don't know everything yet, so I'm going to assume it's going to cost $399. Wow, double the price of the Oculus Go. Boom! This is quite the bummer. And as I will tell you later, they do play in kind of different VR categories, but for the normal consumer who is going to dip their feet into VR for the first time, that's the first difference they're going to see. And that's why I'm going to put the price here in the very front of this overall comparison. Because, well, the consumer, he goes into Best Buy, Target, or into any other store, and the first thing he will see, okay, two VR devices, two standalone devices, let's compare, well, the price. And it's going to be a big surprise. It's going to be $199 versus $399. Wow, what an incredible price difference. And I can tell you here, directly live from my studio, from Daydream District, a channel dedicated to Daydream VR, I'd say 90% of people will go for the Oculus Go, just because it's $199 versus $399. So $199 is kind of an impulse buy. And well, the marketing is going to be awesome. Just if you only compare the websites. Yeah, you look at this. Oh yeah, okay, virtual reality wherever you want it. 360 degrees experience, VR games, yeah, social apps. This is how it looks like. Netflix. Yeah, it looks simply incredible. The marketing is fantastic. Top notch. Crystal clear optics, integrated spatial audio, and optimized 3D graphics come together to bring your virtual world to life. This is simply incredible marketing at $199, and this is how the controller looks like. I'm gonna talk about this a bit more later. And now compare this with this here. Oh, virtual reality evolved. Well, it simply cannot compare. If you just compare the marketing of these two websites. Yeah, so Lenovo and Google, you have to step up your game here if you want to sell something that is double as expensive as the Oculus Go. Yeah, at least get your websites to look as good as this here. Can you do that? If you want to stand a chance with your double price, you're selling your device for double the price. You must have double the better marketing as compared to the Oculus Go if you want to stand a chance. You have to have your marketing double as good. And now look at the websites. Yeah, no. I must admit, the Oculus Go wins in terms of marketing and they're winning in terms of price. I mean, that's no question at all. The Oculus Go, $199. the Mirage Solo, $399. So this is the first big thing that the consumers will see, the price. And that's why I put it here also in the very beginning of the comparison. Now we're getting to the next difference. Now I'm going to tell you why the Mirage Solo is so much more expensive. And this difference is really, really a big one. So have a look at this device. It looks nice, it looks cool, the Oculus Go. And yeah, looks like a nice VR headset as we know it. Like, looks actually quite similar to the Oculus Rift if it was in black. So you see the same design cues here. And now let's have a look at the Mirage Solo. Here, let's see if I find a close-up of the Mirage Solo here. Yeah, kind of from the side. Oh, but they don't even have like a close-up. Oh, yeah, here, probably here. Probably this is not bad. So, it's also a beautiful looking headset. And the big difference here, it has two cameras. Can you see that? It has two cameras here in the front. And these cameras are used for their so-called world sense tracking technology. Now, this is one of the so-called inside-out tracking technologies. With these two cameras, the headset will know where it is in space. So it constantly checks your environment, and thanks to those cameras, it can know where itself is in space. So that is quite an incredible technology, and that's why the Mirage Solo offers something which is called 6 degrees of freedom tracking. And this is a big deal. Let me be very clear about this. 6 degrees of freedom tracking is a very big deal. And for the Oculus Go, as you can tell, you cannot see any cameras. There are no cameras here on the device. So the tracking is not done with cameras, and actually there is tracking, of course, but the tracking is only 3 degrees of freedom. Now, what does this mean? Let me try to tell you as clear as possible. With 3 degrees of freedom, what you can do in VR, you can look left, right, up, and down. That's it. That's the 3 degrees of freedom that you can get with the Oculus Go, and that is very limiting. Now, with the Mirage Solo, what is the 6 degrees of freedom? Well, you can do this here, for example, and it will be represented in your world. You can duck, it will be represented in your world. You can go forward in the virtual world just with your body movements. It will be represented in your virtual world. So think about it, like for example, some ball is flying at you. You can simply like do this motion and yeah, not get hit by the ball, for example. So this is a big deal. Again, in the Oculus Go, you can only look left, right, up and down, and that's it. So if you do any other movement, ducking or doing any kind of other movement where your head would have to be tracked in 3D space, it won't happen in the Oculus Go. So, well, there are lots of problems. So one thing, it might make you really sick because your real world movements are not being represented in the virtual world that you see. So you have some kind of misinterpretation here, and well, it's tougher for your brain. Whereas in the Mirage Solo, which has 6 degrees of freedom tracking for the headset, each and every single movement that you do with your head is being represented in the virtual world, and well, you won't get as sick as you will get in the Oculus Go, and overall that is simply better and much more immersive. You are really within the virtual worlds here with the Mirage Solo. And well, for the Oculus Go, it is still great for example, watching movies where anyways you wouldn't move your head, right? So for watching movies, this is incredible, and this is probably good enough. You're simply sitting there or you're lying in your bed and you're watching a movie on a huge screen. Fair enough, great. But if you are in a virtual game world, for example, and yeah, you only have 3 degrees of freedom for your head, that is not as nice as 6 degrees of freedom. And all the high-end PC headsets like Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, all the Windows MR headsets like the Samsung Odyssey, Lenovo Explorer, Dell Visor, all these PC headsets, they all have 6 degrees of freedom. And let me tell you, as somebody who has all the headsets, I have all the PC headsets, I have all the Gear VRs and Daydream headsets out there. It is such a huge difference, 6 degrees of freedom versus 3 degrees of freedom. Now I'm so used to 6 degrees of freedom thanks to the PC headsets. It's really, really tough to go into Daydream and to go into Gear VR. So now, thanks to the Mirage Solo, yeah, it's not going to be hard for me anymore to go back to Daydream, because now Daydream has 6 degrees of freedom. And well, that is definitely a huge, huge difference. 6 degrees of freedom is much better. Is it $200 better? Well, for the normal consumer who wants to dip their feet into VR, I still think they're going to go for the $199 device. And well, since this is a live show, I would also like to know what you guys think. Is 6 degrees of freedom worth $200? Please do let me know in the comment section here on YouTube. Would love to know what you think about it. Is $200 worth another 3 degrees of freedom on top of the 3 degrees of freedom that you can get with the Oculus Go? Please do let me know in the chat. And I would like to call out some people here who are in the live on the live stream right now. Josh Seloff, nice to see you. JR Romeo 350, Charlie Peel, Mohammed Irfan Silawat, nice to see you. And Rolls 17 is also here. Nice to see you, Rolls, also on this channel. Incredible. Yeah, so we'd love to know, what do you think? Is 200 degrees of freedom, $200, is it worth it to add this money to get 6 degrees of freedom? Well, for me as a VR enthusiast, it's really tough to go back to 3 degrees of freedom. But now I'm thinking for the person who never had a VR headset. And this, for lots of people, the Oculus Go will without a doubt be the very, very first headset, the very first VR headset that they're going to have. And for those people coming from nothing, going to this, yeah, kind of okay, I think. But for people who already tasted 6 degrees of freedom, it's going to be super, super tough to go to 3 degrees of freedom. Okay, so the big difference: Oculus Go, 3 degrees of freedom, Mirage Solo, 6 degrees of freedom. Big difference. And now let's have a look at some other specs. So here is a nice comparison done by the Android Soul side-by-side specs comparison table. Okay, display resolution. Both headsets have a QHD display resolution. That is good. That is 2560 by 1440 pixel for the whole panel. That is a very nice display resolution. So that means the virtual worlds will look crisp and nice in both headsets. This is really good news. Now, the display type for both will be LCD. So they are not coming with OLED displays. Well, that was to be expected. They need to cut down on costs, and that is definitely going to be less expensive than an OLED display. Also, with the new LCD technologies, actually in VR, they are not looking really bad anymore. It's not like, okay, LCD looks so much worse than OLED. No, it's simply not true anymore. The new LCD panels, they look pretty good, and yeah, so that is definitely fine. Now for the processor, in the Oculus Go, we're going to have a Snapdragon 821, and in the Lenovo Mirage Solo, we're going to have a Snapdragon 835. So definitely the Snapdragon 835 is the better and faster chip, also to be found in the Pixel devices. So definitely that's faster, and well, the Mirage Solo simply needs this more computing power, since it has to do all the positional tracking for the 6 degrees of freedom and all the added stuff that comes with the camera setup within the device. So that's why you need this kind of power. So I wouldn't necessarily think that the games will look better or something. It's simply you need that power in order to run that 6 degrees of freedom computing that the Lenovo Mirage Solo has to do on top of that. So RAM, we don't know yet for the Oculus Go, but for the Lenovo Mirage Solo, yeah, 4 GB, yeah, that should be fine. Okay, great. So now, how about the storage? So the the Oculus Go will come in different kind of setups. There will be a 32 GB version, which starts at $199, and there will be a 64 GB version. And for that 64 GB version, we don't know yet the price. The Lenovo Mirage Solo directly comes with 64 GB. So yeah, probably would be much fairer to compare the price, the $399 of the Lenovo Mirage Solo, with the 64 version, the 64 GB version of the Oculus Go. But yeah, we don't know yet about that price. And a big difference for the Lenovo Mirage Solo, you can put a micro SD card into it in order to expand the storage. And that, in my opinion, is a big win for the Lenovo Mirage Solo. So just think about it. You have you have a couple of games there in your headset, and then you want to get that new game and you simply can't because it's full. Or you want to watch a movie and you pre-download it and you cannot do that because you run out of memory. So this is going to be really frustrating for lots of people with the Oculus Go. I want to tell you that before. So yeah, you might run into storage problems with the Oculus Go because, well, 32 GB is not so much anymore. And you cannot simply put an SD card into it as you can with the Lenovo Mirage Solo. So that is a big difference, and I need to tell you that here Lenovo Mirage Solo has an SD card that you can put inside it, expandable storage, very good, and it comes with 64 GB directly when you buy it. That's the only option you get, and that is pretty sweet as compared to the Oculus Go, 32 GB and no SD card slot. No SD card slot on the Oculus Go, a big difference. So both are running on Android. Okay, there are no surprises here. And now let's talk about something interesting. The controllers. The controllers are both 3 degrees of freedom. So let me show you the controllers here. I think if we scroll down here. Okay, I think I saw it before somewhere. Here it is. This is the controller of the Oculus Go. So as you can tell here, here's a big trackpad. We have 2 buttons here, and we have a trigger button. Looks very nice to me. It looks incredible. It looks very nice, very ergonomic. Looks like something that I would want to use. It reminds me a bit of the Gear VR controller, also with the trigger button, but actually this looks even a bit nicer. Now let me show you the controller that's going to be there with the Lenovo Mirage Solo. Let me change back to the studio. Now you should see me in the studio mode. This here. This sad little thing is the controller, is the 3 degrees of freedom motion controller of the Lenovo Mirage Solo. It's the same that had been used for all the Daydream views before. It's not a bad controller. No, it's not a bad controller, but you see what it lacks? Yeah, it does not have a trigger button. And this is just so ridiculous. I don't understand why they use this chance now to upgrade this controller with a trigger button. I mean, we're using the trigger button all the time in all the other virtual reality headsets, and it's just so good. Just think about all the games where you need to shoot a gun, for example. It happens quite often in video games, right? And here, what do you have to do? You will have to use your thumb to shoot that gun. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why Google cannot change this to a trigger button. I mean, it's like, it's such an obvious design flaw. It hurts me. And instead of like listening to the community who want a trigger button, they simply are yeah, they're so stubborn at Google. No, you'll get this one. You'll get this one. You'll be stuck with this forever. So I'm really, really unhappy with this motion controller. And now, especially since I'm used to all these incredible controllers, to the Oculus Touch and to the Vive and even to the Windows MR controllers, they are also better than this. This is the worst controller in virtual reality right now. That's it. It's the worst. It does not have a trigger button. We want a trigger button. Okay. I needed to say that because this is not nice. This is really not nice. So back to the screen. Let me show you that again here. The beautiful controller from the Oculus Go. Definitely better than what the Lenovo Mirage Solo is gonna come out with. I can tell you that already now, even without having tried it. And yeah, you know what is also a big win for the Oculus Go? That the Lenovo Mirage Solo, the controller of the Lenovo Mirage Solo, is also only 3 degrees of freedom. So this is the Lenovo Mirage controller that's gonna come out. Is not a 6 degrees of freedom controller. So you cannot use it to grab things and to see where your hand is in space, which is really cool for all the high-end PC virtual reality headsets. No, this is a 3 degrees of freedom motion controller. The only thing it can do, it can point. You can use it like a laser pointer in VR, and that's it. So the position of this thing, it has to be like guessed by the developer. So yeah, it is really, really not good. The only thing that you can do with this is point. So the thing is, you have this nice 6 degrees of freedom headset with the Lenovo Mirage Solo. So you can do things like this. But then, yeah, your hand will be somehow stuck here. Whatever you do, even if you put your hand here or here, your hand will always be at the same position in space. Not good, not really good. So you have this beautiful 6 degrees of freedom headset, but you have this 3 degrees of freedom bad motion controller. Not nice. And then you have to pay double the price of the of the Oculus Go. So I don't think this is great. Honestly speaking, I really think this is not good. We see from other devices like the Pico. Pico is also a standalone headset which with 6 degrees of freedom, which also has 6 degrees of freedom hand controllers. So they have shown that with the Snapdragon 835 you can do that technically. So it's a bit sad to see that Google with Daydream, yeah, they don't seem to be like really trying to get everything out of it. They're playing it safe, right? They want to make all the old titles compatible, totally understandable. But yeah, this controller sucks, really sucks. And it's going to play also a role in my conclusion at the end of this video. Okay, so yeah, now let's go to the next point here. What can you play with the Oculus Go and with the Lenovo Mirage Solo? Here, what can you play? I think they said it somewhere on top. Okay, here. Immerse yourself in over 1,000 VR games, social apps, 360 degrees experiences and more. So content-wise, you will be good with the Oculus Go. So they have 1,000 VR games, social apps and 360 degrees experiences, a lot. So with the Oculus Go, it is one-to-one compatible, binary compatible with Gear VR games. What does it mean? It means all Gear VR games that have ever been produced will work on the Oculus Go. And the developers, they don't have to do anything. They can just bring it over to the Oculus Go. And that means you will have all the content that is there for Gear VR. And there's so much content for Gear VR. It's incredible. All that content you will be able to play on the Oculus Go. But again, everything is 3 degrees of freedom content. So you won't be able to have your head move within VR. But anyways, there are great games out there for Gear VR. They have a great selection. And on top of that, they are going to sell you movies within VR. So you can buy movies, rent movies in that system. And the very, very neat part, you will watch it on a huge screen. And the cool thing is, you can invite your friends to watch with in VR with you. So if your friends also have an Oculus Go, just one person has to buy or rent the movie, and then you can simply invite your party of, I don't know yet how many people you can invite. Let's say like you can probably invite 3 other people, and you can have a cool movie experience together, a very cool social VR experience. And I think lots of people will be very attracted by this feature. And this is a great device for watching and consuming 3D and VR content. Because then for that 3 degrees of freedom will be totally fine. So yeah, definitely cool. Lots of content, and also lots of movies that you can watch there. Kind of cool that you can invite your friends, and well, that probably is not the case with the Lenovo Mirage Solo. So again, to put it in a nutshell, lots of content, and all the Gear VR stuff is going to be ported over to the Oculus Go. So you have like lots of content with that device. Yeah, now let's talk about the Mirage Solo. So on the Mirage Solo, you can play all the Daydream content, that is there right now. And as you know, there's lots of Daydream content, really great, fantastic games, games that you will not find on Gear VR, like Eclipse, Edge of Sun, and virtual reality. They are really great, exclusive in the Daydream catalog. Well, I must know, because I've been reviewing them all. I've done more than 400 videos on this channel talking about Daydream games. So if you want to have a look at what Daydream is offering you, then have a look at this channel. There's really lots of content there. And quality-wise, I would even say that the exclusive games, they are better than those to be found on the Gear VR. So you get really awesome content with the Mirage Solo. All Daydream games will work from day one, and you will have additional games, new games, that will make use of these 6 degrees of freedom. So one thing that Google was touting was this Blade Runner experience, or Blade Runner game. Well, I haven't played it yet. I don't know yet how it's going to be like, but there will be some additional games that will only be that you can only play with the Lenovo Mirage Solo with the standalone headset. So definitely also really good content. And on top of all that Daydream content, all these games, you will find the Google apps, some Google apps which you will not find on the Oculus Go. For example, YouTube. The YouTube VR app is only to be found on the Daydream standalone headsets, and that is definitely a big win. The YouTube app is fantastic. Then also other apps, other Google apps, also you will only find them on the Lenovo Mirage Solo. Yeah, so yeah, the Google apps. The Google VR apps are good, can definitely recommend them to you. But the question is going to be, how many new 6 Degrees of Freedom apps will we really see? Because on the Lenovo Mirage Solo and on the Daydream standalone headsets, you will not be able to play the Steam VR content. So very clear, the Daydream standalone headsets are not good for playing Steam VR content. And as you know, Steam VR is really where it's at if you want to have cool 6 Degrees of Freedom VR games. So the reason is, of course, yeah, the controllers. The controllers simply are not there. And all the Steam VR games need 2 6 Degrees of Freedom controllers. And yeah, that's one big reason why you can play them. Also, of course, this is not tethered to your computer, so it won't work. Yeah, this is really a shame. Probably we're going to see some hacks with some third-party apps like RiftCat, for example, which might make this compatible with Steam VR. Let's see, I will certainly try that out. But yeah, this is not compatible with Steam VR, and you're bound to the Daydream ecosystem, which is good, but for 6 Degrees of Freedom, it's not good yet. Well, I don't know. Probably they're going to surprise us with lots of content, but at the moment I'm a bit skeptic, because all the developers that I'm talking to, they're not happy about the platform. There are not lots of downloads there. And because there are not lots of downloads there, they are not encouraged to make more content for the platform. And you know what? The developers are going to flock to Oculus Go because it's damn cheap and it's going to sell like hotcakes. So I'm a bit skeptic here in what the content is concerned with the Lenovo Mirage Solo, with all the upcoming Daydream standalone headsets. I hope there's going to be lots of Daydream standalone headsets. I hope they're going to go down in price so that they're going to sell like hotcakes as well, so that the developers will be encouraged to make more content. Just the problem is that there are simply not the masses there that are using Daydream for developers to make this something exciting for them. I really hope that they can get their act together and get the price down and have more of these devices out there, so that yeah, actually there's a market that can be used by content providers like me. I'm also a content provider for Daydream, for the Daydream platform, by doing these videos. But honestly, yeah, this is not so great. There's not enough people who are interested in it at the moment. It's not hot, it's too expensive. That's my opinion. So content wise, well, hope gonna be there, and Google really has to do a better job in bringing this to the masses, and bringing this to the masses as the Oculus Go will be able to. And of course, I also hope for incredible exclusive games and apps for the Mirage Solo that probably can make you want to get one of these devices. Yeah, then I would like to also tell you about one other hardware benefit of the Lenovo Mirage Solo as compared to the Oculus Go. So I think until this point in time you have already kind of grasped that hardware-wise, the Lenovo Mirage Solo is much better than the Oculus Go. Much better. 6 Degrees of Freedom. That's the big one. And we have expandable storage. We have 64 GB from the get-go. And that is definitely a big advantage. And then one more advantage that I would like to let you know is the field of view. The field of view is, well, the angle that you can see things in virtual reality. And for the Mirage Solo has a field of view of 110 degrees. This is really good. This is on par with Oculus Rift. This is on par with HTC Vive, and this is on par with the best Windows mixed reality headset. So 110 degrees field of view is a nice field of view. But the Oculus Go only has a field of view of 90 degrees. I found this in this article. This article is done by Android Central, so I hope this is not a mistake. If this is a mistake, dear Oculus people, please do let me know, and please do let me know that this cannot be true. So, according to this article, the Oculus Go only has a field of view of 90 degrees, and this is really not good. This is like the first Daydream view. So it will make you feel like you're looking, like you're having a look through these binoculars. So everything is like looking through binoculars, and you have this tunnel view, which is really not so great. Especially if you're already like a VR enthusiast and if you're used to other things, 90 degrees is not gonna cut it. It's unfortunately really too low. And I'm really wondering if that is really true. I really wonder why this is the case, because Oculus could manufacture or like develop this device from scratch, from the get-go, so they can optimize the FOV. So I'm still a bit skeptical about the 90 degrees field of view. Please take this with a grain of salt. If it's true, then it's bad. Hopefully this is just a mistake on Android Central's website. I'm going to reach out to Oculus and I'm going to ask them if this is really the case. If yes, that's really not nice. Well, it's still okay for the people who have never tried VR before, who are going into this just to dip their feet into VR. But for all the others who already have like experience with VR, this is going to be a problem. Okay, I think I have really given you everything now in this comparison. Let's go back to the studio view. So I think I've given you everything I know about the two devices as of now that they have not launched yet. I will get them both and do lots of comparisons with them. But from this pre-launch phase, from this pre-launch comparison, let me tell you my conclusion. So my conclusion is that the Oculus Go will win. And the reason for this is the price. $199 is just so much cheaper than $399. So the price is a huge thing. And for consumers who just want to try VR for the very first time, they will for sure simply see the price, and for them this device is going to be good enough. So if they will see the direct comparison, $199 versus $399, this is simply a big difference, a huge difference. And I'm sure that the Oculus Go is going to sell like hotcakes together with that incredible marketing. They just know their stuff, and for that reason I'm very sure that the Oculus Go is going to win against the Lenovo Mirage Solo, just in terms of how well they will sell. Yeah, that is I'm very sure about this, and I think it's a big mistake on Google's side to sell this for $399, even though it's much better. I totally understand it. Probably it costs much more in the development and in the manufacturing too. I totally get it. But dear Google, why don't you make a Daydream Go headset? A Daydream Go headset which has also only 3 degrees of freedom, which can really compare to the Oculus Go in terms of price, and then you can still sell up the Lenovo Mirage Solo as the premium device. But like this, the premium device has to fight against this cheap device. I really don't see people go and buy the Lenovo Mirage Solo at $399 when they can get the Oculus Rift for $399, when they can get the Windows MR headsets for prices like $200 now on Amazon. Okay, probably now it's a bit more expensive already, $220 or what. I don't see that happening, because if you already have a gaming PC, if you have one of the newer PCs, yeah, you simply can go for the Windows MR headsets at $250, $220, and you're gonna get a better experience. You're gonna get 6 degrees of freedom for your headset and 2 controllers. You can play all Steam VR games. It's just so much better. You can play Tilt Brush, your own app that you can even play on the Lenovo Mirage Solo. So I think the Lenovo Mirage Solo has a very, very tough position. It's in a very, very tough space. So it cannot appeal to people who just want to dip their toes into VR because it's too expensive. For VR enthusiasts, yeah, they will go for Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, or Windows MR headsets. And even those who want to like get into VR, get into high-end PC VR cheap, they're not going to get the Lenovo Mirage Solo. They're probably going to get the Lenovo Explorer, which is $250 now on Amazon, and will allow you Steam VR games, 6 degrees of freedom controllers, which are fun, and get all the awesome things on Steam VR. So I see the Lenovo Mirage Solo in a very, very tough space. And I think it's a huge mistake to price this at $399. I think if Daydream wants to survive, they need to come up with a Daydream Go device that can really compete with the Oculus Go on price. And then you can still upsell with Daydream Premium standalone headset or something. But with this, unfortunately, even though this channel is called Daydream District, unfortunately, I see them lose. I'd be happy if they prove me wrong. I think the Lenovo Mirage Solo is without a doubt the better headset. It's going to be much more fun. 6 degrees of freedom is just such a big difference. It's heaps better than the Oculus Go, but I don't see the Lenovo Mirage Solo winning against this. What has to happen? The prices have to come down to probably $200, $250. Then then Daydream has a shot. But like this, I don't see much hope here. What do you guys think? Please do let me know in the description below. Do let me know in the comment section. Do let me know in the live stream. Yeah. So again, now let me tell you what I would recommend to you if you want to get into VR, and you should get into VR because it's incredible. So we have to look at some different cases. And we have Justin Hawkins here. Hi Justin, good to see you here. And Jay Romeo and Dolly, good to have you here all. Have you here in the live stream. So now I would like to tell you again, I would like to make a recommendation for you if you want to get into VR. Okay, let's think about it. If you have a gaming PC at home or quite a new PC, yeah, then definitely go for one of the PC VR devices. A great, fantastic entry point is the Lenovo Explorer, which you can get for around $250 on Amazon.com. This device is an incredible device. You can have a look on my other channel, which is called MRTV, and I did lots of comparisons. This is an incredible device, can compete very well against Oculus Rift and HTC Vive, and you can get it for a discounted price. Very, very awesome. And yeah, definitely worth it. My very, very big recommendation to you guys. Of course, Oculus Rift at the current price, $399, is still a very, very awesome device. And yeah, probably if it's too expensive for you, you can go for a second-hand device. Probably you can get it for $260, $250 as well. Oculus Rift, absolutely incredible device as well. If you want to spend more, if you are the super VR enthusiast, then definitely go for the HTC Vive. The tracking is a dream. Okay, that's the case if you have a gaming PC at home. Go for these high-end PC headsets. It's just uncomparable. Okay, if you don't have if you don't have a computer, a fast computer, but you have a Daydream ready phone, no question, go and get the Daydream View headset. It's going to cost you around $100, and you have access to all the Daydream games. You have access to very cool YouTube apps, Google apps. It's really, really good. It's also a very nice first dip into VR. So if you have a Daydream ready phone, go for it. If you have Samsung Galaxy, yeah, you can also go for the Daydream View headset, or you can go for the Gear VR. Actually, and honestly, to speak the total truth, the Gear VR is better than the Daydream View headset in terms of how stable everything is, because in the Gear VR they have some additional sensors, so it's a very good experience as well. So if you have a Samsung Galaxy, you can totally get a Gear VR headset. It's highly recommended. Okay, now if you don't have an Android device and if you don't have a gaming PC, let's say you have an iPhone, what to do now? Yeah, I think I would recommend you to get an Oculus Go, because, well, for $199, this is going to be a great first dip into VR. Fantastic, really, really good. As you've seen, there's lots of content there, and can really, really recommend it for you guys. Then, if you want to spend a bit more, if it's okay for you to spend $399, then for sure the Lenovo Mirage Solo could also be a great headset. You have all the Daydream apps, and you have 6 degrees of freedom. So if you want to spend $400, definitely go for the Lenovo Mirage Solo. It's a better device than the Oculus Go. 6 degrees of freedom, and you have all the awesome Daydream apps and games. Definitely, for $400, it's a good price. It's not a good price, I think, as compared to the Oculus Go, but if you have the money and if you want to spend $400, you can do it. Okay, I think this is everything that I got for you in this live stream. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Thanks everybody for watching it live. All the people who are here, Dirly Rolls, Kali, Takumi, Justin, and all the people who are watching this right now. I really hope that you enjoyed this live stream here on Daydream District. If yes, give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you have not subscribed to Daydream District, do so now. But I also want to tell you about my other YouTube channel. It's called Mixed Reality TV, and on that channel I discuss everything that is not Daydream. Okay, so Oculus, Windows, mixed reality, Vive, all the exciting high-end PC VR stuff is happening on the other channel, on Mixed Reality TV. Check out YouTube, Mixed Reality TV. You're going to find lots of content from me there. If you like content like this, you're going to find much more content there about high-end VR, and it's a great channel and lots of fun, I would say. Okay, but that's it really from me now. So again, I can just tell you, if you like that stream, give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed here or the other channel, do that now. And until that, keep on daydreaming, and see you in the next video.